So printing your work can actually be really daunting. I know this as I had to do it for a university project, but now I can bestow all of the information I learned onto you guys. I've been wanting to collate all of the comics I made while I was at uni into a small anthology, and I figured now would be a great time to make a very small tutorial on the basics of formatting comics for printing and then printing them. The site I'm going to be using is Mixam. I'm not sure if this is like just a UK based website, but I do know they ship all the way around the world, and this is the website I'm most familiar with. However, based on the small amount of research I've done, most of what I'm going to be showing you in this video can be applied to other websites too. First things first, you're going to want to pick the size you want to print at. This is important because then you need to set your page sizes right before you even start making your comics. I personally am going to be printing at A5, and make sure you reduce the amount of copies you want. Unlike me when I was recording this and thought it cost £140 for one book.
What the fuck?
Oh. Most of the other stuff on this page isn't useful right now, and I'll explain that all later, so don't worry. You're going to want to scroll all the way down until you see Print Template, and you're going to go and download that. Upon opening, you're going to be bombarded with a lot of information, so let me just break it down for you as simply as I can. Yes, you're going to have a lot of information, but you're only going to need to look at two things: the body pages and what sizes they are. The body of the pages are the most important and probably the most difficult part to understand. Please make sure you're inserting the body pages into your template when we get there, and not the cover pages, which are just before them. The body pages are split into left and right. The easiest way I can explain this to you is if you grab a book. The first page will always be on the right hand side with the binding on the left, if you're in a country that reads from left to right. Luckily, these templates show you that if you're confused. See the dotted red line? This is where the printer will fold the paper, which makes your seam. The yellow area is the quiet space. Essentially, you can put art here if you want to go off page, but don't put anything important here like text bubbles or important actions. Then you have the teal colour, which is the bleed. Essentially, everything in here will get cut out. However, like most things, it won't be exact, so expect some error on both sides of the bleed line. To ensure all of your lovely work is kept inside where you need it to be, I recommend keeping most of the panels inside the white box, even if it's only slightly, and then expanding out when you want to make like a panelless panel, if that makes sense. Now it's time to set up your pages. I'm going to be using Clip Studio Paint for this, and personally, I did actually find it a lot easier using Procreate when I did it the first time. Either way, this will work in whatever program you're going to be using it in. Immediately, do not make the file size it says on the page. Unfortunately, life is never that easy. What you need to do is add the initial page size and the size of the bleed. In this case, 148 by 210 millimeters plus 3 makes 151 by 213 millimeters. Now this will be the size of your page. And then you just start making your pages. And make sure that you're putting the right side body first. Another thing to note that I haven't said yet, and I just remembered that I should say, when you're printing, you're going to want to have your DPI at 300. This is the minimum DPI for printing anything. So make sure it's at 300 or higher, otherwise your comics are going to be super pixelated. While you're doing that, enjoy me putting all my artwork into my pages. Once that's all done, you can export your files as a PDF. A PDF is the most compatible file for Mixam. It keeps the quality of your work, as well as making sure that all of the pages are in order. So, with all that done, let's go back to the website and go over all of that important information now. Immediately, you're going to go through all the basics. Do you want a paperback or a hardback? What is the quantity of books that you want? Are you going to have it in colour or grayscale? I recommend always doing colour, even if you're working in a manga format. That way you can have a really nice coloured cover, and I haven't really seen any price difference between the two anyway. And then finally, you're going to get hit with orientation and size. I don't usually move any of these. And that's when we move on to the more complicated areas. The paper types are pretty specific, and I'll be honest, I don't really know a lot about them. If you can spare some money, there's an option for you to buy test paper, and they'll literally send you every single version that you could ever need. So I'm talking all of the different types of gloss, all of the different types of GSM paper. It's all of it. And that would be super helpful for you in the long run if you're wanting to print lots of different comics. This is a one-time purchase, and the next time I get my paycheck, I will be doing that too, because I'm wanting to print my own comics. For this project, I am personally picking Silk Touch because I've worked with it before and I like the feeling of the paper on my hands. However, when it comes to paperweights, I have a little bit more knowledge. A typical A4 printer paper is around 80 to 100 GSM, and card is usually somewhere between 200 and 300 GSM. Hopefully those comparisons help you out. I usually pick around 115 to 130 for my paper size, just to make sure that it has a little bit of stability and the colours won't bleed into each other. The binding is pretty self-explanatory, but you have to keep in mind that there is a minimum and maximum page limit for these, so make sure you play around with this in your spare time before you go and buy something. But if you want to play around with it, you don't have to buy anything, you can just go on the website and fuck about. That's sometimes some of the best things that you can do. And then it comes to the cover. I usually pick a GSM that's around 250 to 300, just so it kind of feels like a hardcover without me having to pay the extra 20 quid. When it comes to cover finishing, I usually pick soft touch lamination. It can be expensive sometimes, but for me it was only an extra 5 quid, and to me, to make the book feel nice, that was worth it. And then, once you have all those settings picked, you can add it to your basket. Don't worry, you can add your PDF and all your files in from there. It's going to be a little confusing the first time you do it, but you're going to need to go into your basket and then press continue. Then it will bring you to the page where you can upload all your files and you can sort it all out, and yeah. Once you've uploaded this, you can visually see how your comic would look in a printed format via the preview button, and honestly, I love doing that with my own work. It's also a really great way for you to check if it all works in a printed style. And once you've done that, you pay, and then you wait for it to be delivered.
It has arrived.
Ooh. Hang on, let me open this up. Ooh. It feels nice. That's the main thing. Interesting. Ooh, okay. Oh, that looks good. The seam looks really nice. Yeah, this is awesome. This looks great. That one's blurry, but that one looks fucking cool. Hell yeah. Oh, that worked really well. You can't see the text, but that's not the important part for me. The important part is that you can see the art. Oh, that's fucking sick. Oh, that's so cool. Oh my god, I thought I was missing a page. With that, yay, it's printed again. I fucking love this comic. It's so good. I'm so happy with it. Yeah. Oh my god. I never got this one printed. Oh my god. Oh, the cut-off's fucked. That's fine. I knew it was going to do that. Yo! That looks so cool! Oh, the joy. The joy. That's such a cool page. Oh, yeah! This is so cool! Yes! Yeah. Oh my god! Cool! So yeah, that's how you print a comic book with the website Mixam. Hopefully this was helpful for some people. I understand that I might have glossed over a lot of details, but I am not an expert at this kind of thing, and this is most of the knowledge that I have. However, I'm hopeful that I was able to walk you through all of the basic details that you need to know in order to start printing. Like most things, you'll pick up your own technique. I'm sure I will at some point too when I start printing more. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and maybe I'll see you in my next video.